What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Tide Talk. It's Sunday, August 10th, and we're back to talk RIFC's 0-0 home USL Championship draw versus Loudon United. Just a reminder, each episode is available on YouTube, and if you're watching now, please take a second to subscribe to our channel and click that like button on this video. You can also find us on your favorite podcast applications like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you listen on one of those, we'd really appreciate it if you took a minute to leave us a 5-star rating and a short review, as it helps more people find Tide Talk. One last plug, if you're not already, go check out the RIFC Club Collector app and enter the code TideTalk25, all lowercase, all one word, to get an exclusive pack added to your collection today. So cozy up, grab a beer. Let's dive into this one. Ryan, how's your Sunday been, my friend?
It's nice. I did some lunch with my family and just got some ice cream from Big Feeling down at Stock down here in Hope Street. So lovely.
What'd you get?
I went Neapolitan. Couldn't make a real decision, so I had to go with the 3 flavors there.
There you go. Always good. Always good.
So, yeah, how's your Sunday?
Very relaxing. Stayed home all day. Did absolutely nothing. Also needed. I think Graham woke up at like 11 today. That was pretty awesome. That was like the latest ever. So the firework late nights kicked some butt. Big shout out to our friend William Lamb, who's in the chat back home in California after yesterday's visit. Good seeing him in the lot before the game and during the match as well. Hopefully, as Andrew Quadro said, you enjoyed your time here in Rhode Island and like the new stadium. Definitely like to get your thoughts on there. But unfortunately, we've got another stinker to talk about, as it was a 0-0 going into this one. What was your confidence like coming off a win? I was kind of predicting a draw. I thought maybe 1-1. I thought maybe each team would accidentally find a goal. But 0-0 it was.
Yeah, I was I think I was a little I for some reason got confident. I think Matt Hans talked about this last year, where you kind of go as the week goes on, you get a little more and more confident for absolutely no reason. And I think after the kind of big moment last game, and you go, oh, this is the moment, this is where they're going to turn it all around. You start to really psych yourself out. So I think I predicted on the show 2-1, and then I think I did 3-0 at some point. I just kept building up. I think it was 10-0 by the time we kicked off. So yeah, I can't trust those predictions at all.
Before even getting into the lack of meat and potatoes in this one, I found myself thinking about this earlier today with this match. Did you see last night as more promising than the actual 1-0 win over Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah. So I know we're going to do them a lot, but I think there were much better takeaways from last night than there was in that Detroit City game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought especially the first half, I guess we'll get to it as we get to the first half, but I really thought it was one of our better performances so far this season. Right. And you could see the signs of okay, maybe things are starting to click, but yeah, Detroit was just Detroit felt very much more the same, whereas this one felt a little bit different. I don't think either of them are to the standard that we would hope and expect at this point, but this one I definitely felt better afterwards in a weird way, even though we lost, or even though we tied. Sorry, we didn't lose. But yeah, the Detroit one was just okay, it felt like we got saved a bit by a penalty from another really, really bad performance, versus this one where there was some very, as Jason says, some very quote unquote progress there.
For sure. Let's start with the lineup. Like always, we had Koke, Vegas, and Net, backline of Mabika, Yao, and Baccarat, Sanchez, Corcoran, Ibarra, Amos Shapiro-Thompson, Noah Fuson, JJ Williams, and Maxi Rodriguez rounding out the starting 11. What you make of it when you saw it, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, really fun to see Noah, JJ, and Maxi in the lineup together. Something that I don't know if we've actually seen yet, or if we have, it's been very minimal. I still think it's odd that we're playing a formation that requires a right wing back when we just don't have one available at this point. I think Clay and Amos are doing a very decent job as two people serviceable job. Yeah, as two people who don't play that position. But I just don't get why we're persisting with something that we just don't have the tools to do. And then I also just feel and we'll talk more about this, but Corcoran and Ibarra on that double pivot, it still feels a little redundant to me, especially with the problem the team is having where they can't score goals. It seems just a little conservative. They feel very similar in that way. And then the final one, nice to see Busy on the bench, Dwayne Atkinson. So took about 3 years for him to finally get announced, and excited for him to finally make his official debut.
The worst kept secret in Rhode Island and the longest transfer saga. I think.
Was it that, or is it the Real Housewives cast and all that stuff?
Them blocking LaBanda is criminal. I mean, that show should be canceled just because of that. But I think the big gaping hole in this one, if you will, is Clay not being in the starting 11, and we know he's played a lot of minutes of late, and I kind of got on him being subbed on during the Pittsburgh game, as I thought it was very unnecessary for him to get those minutes in his legs when that game was clearly over, and then you see him relegated to the bench to start a match like this. The substitutions, the 11, the pairing, it doesn't make sense that much anymore. It's tough to kind of figure out. You mentioned the redundancy between Corcoran and Ibarra. I said it on FQB Space last night. I think that's just two guys doing the same job. I think Corcoran's a little more tidy with progressing the ball forward, but I think Ibarra is a little more of a sound defensive option. But I think that goes back to recruitment that we've talked about so much. There's been, a lot of needs within this team, within this squad, and to bring in another defensive midfielder when you really needed someone who could come out and score goals, or a true out and out right back, right wing back, bringing in another like piece just doesn't really make sense for me. He must hate it here already. I know you sent a funny meme earlier, but I think the two of them being there and then starting together is just, I don't get it. Kano mentioned in his post-game presser about the defense really struggled to link up with the midfield in this one. And I think because there was no ball progressor in the midfield outside of Maxi, Maxi was playing much more far ahead of Corcoran and Ibarra, but he was bypassed because those two or the defenders just simply couldn't get him the ball.
Yep. Yeah, and I know we'll talk more about it as we go, but it seemed like we kind of we were going back to the center backs and going long a ton, and then the midfield kind of just like wasn't a part of the picture. I don't think it's fair to categorize the entire game that way. I did think in the first half we actually did see some good interplay. I thought Corcoran was doing the thing where he kind of comes all the way back, picks up the ball, and just start directing traffic there. But the second half, especially, you could have told me that him and Ibarra weren't out there, and I would have believed you.
I know you're going to talk about Ibarra a little bit more on the second half with some decisions he made in that, but first half, first couple of minutes in particular, we came out swinging. We had an attempt on goal within the first 2 minutes of the match. It's amazing when the ball just doesn't go directly out of bounds and you're able to advance the ball in the open field and get a shot off. But JJ in particular, for me, looked very hungry in this one. He looked like he wanted a goal, hasn't scored yet at Tidewater, and looked like he really wanted to get it during this match.
Yeah, and I think he was a big piece of our press early on. I thought our press was really, really good in the first half. It led to, I think, 4 or 5 turnovers that I could count. And I thought it was really, it makes a lot of sense when we're pressing that way as a team, because if we can pin them back and force them to go long, it then forces them into our giant center backs who are going to win the majority of the aerial duels. So I thought that was a really easy way not easy way, but I thought it was a really well-oiled machine of like kind of keeping the ball and the pressure on their end. And I think we saw like JJ kind of as a one-man wrecking crew a few times in this one, where he just looked, like you said, just like, I want to score, I'm going to score today. And, doing absolutely everything he personally could to do so.
I think this clip will kind of show that attempt on it. He did have a couple where he shrugged some guys off in the box and all that, but this really showed the dog in him, and I think really showed how bad he wanted a goal.
Side position, but they go again.
Corcoran to Williams off the takeaway. JJ Williams off the crossbar.
I love it.
So I know somebody mentioned, I think it might have been Martin in the chat, that at least we hit a post today, and JJ going in there, a little bit of finesse, which I think people don't think of when they think of him. They think of that wrecking ball, like I said, throwing guys to the ground, bulldog approach, but a really good chance there. Corcoran did feed him the pass, so talk about Corcoran and Ibarra being redundant, but Corcoran has the ability to pick out those advancing players and go from there. But get back to the point, I think JJ was really on the hunt for a goal tonight, and I don't think we're long to see it. I hope we're not long to see it because it's been so long.
Yeah, and I thought the funniest thing was on the I was watching it back, and the announcers were like, do you think that was on purpose that JJ Williams did that, or was it a cross? And it's like, no, he was definitely going for goal there. And
that was not Clint Dempsey. That was not Clint Dempsey versus Juventus at Fulham, where he claims it was a shot, but no one else would.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about crossbars Martin brought up, while it was nice to see JJ hit one, I don't know what they've done this year in terms of recruiting people for the halftime, hit the crossbar challenge, but they have absolute ringers in there.
It was the first 3 weeks, right? They hit it, and then it was like 2 off, and then again, and then it was that girl's birthday too, I believe, right?
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, and then the kid on Wednesday did it too. He did a full-on knee slide.
Right,
it was awesome.
Right. Like that kid was hysterical because you could tell he was relishing the moment. It was really, really good. But first half, I thought we had the better chances. I thought we were more likely to score in this one. Stats were kind of what we saw last year we gave them 58% possession. We outshot them 7-4, 2 on target, 0 big chances for each team. We completed 190 passes at 84% to 275 at 87 for Loudon. Both teams committed 5 fouls and 4 corners to none. The "We Want Chicken" chant was alive and well on every single corner in this one in 116. So it was absolutely rocking in that. I don't think we're ever going to get it, unfortunately, but the "We Want Chicken" chant will totally live on. And overall, like I said, first half, I thought we looked the more likely to score. And it, just wasn't the case. I will say we usually talk shit about the refs, but Natalie Simon, maybe the best official we've seen all season.
Yes, I wrote that down as the number one thing here, but was very impressed by the reffing performance. It didn't seem egregious either way. Obviously there's a
falls were even too,
very even. I think it was consistent. I think there's always going to be calls you disagree with in a game. It's humans doing this job still, but I thought it was genuinely the best officiating we've seen yet.
I had some legitimate worries early on because she's probably shorter than Kevin, and probably shorter than Amos. So I worried about getting shielded out on plays, but I thought she did phenomenal. I thought she did a very good job, and the linesmen were very good too.
Yeah. No, solid performance. I mean, 2 other just notable performances. I thought Hugo, I know we disagree on this, but I thought he actually had an interesting half.
So I'll come in with this point when you're done with this one because he only played the first half.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to start with your point, I've had 24 hours to come up with my rebuttal. So
yeah, so like I said, I said this on the Quahog Corner last night. So anyone who tuned into FQB space,
it was fun. Matt and I did like Freaky Friday where he was bringing up data and I was like eye test city. It was very fun.
Yeah, so I kept hearing how Hugo is really breaking lines and he's this progressive advancing defender that we have. And I think it kind of just is because of what we have in comparison, where we have Yao and Mabika, who are just no nonsense center backs who are going to clear the line and get rid of it. Where Hugo does, advance the ball a little bit, but the stats don't back that take up. 45 minutes played. He completed 26 of 33 passes at 79%. He did have a shot, flicked the header on. It was not on target. 39 total touches, 1 touch in the opposing box, 1 pass into the final third. So all this progressive passing that I'm hearing about, the stats don't back it up. Only played 2 long balls. 1 was accurate, 1 was not. He had 1 block as a defender, 1 interception, 3 defensive actions, 2 recoveries, was dribble passed once. He kind of got pantsed again, which has been 2 or 3 games in a row. 1 out of 4 duels won, 2 out of 3 aerial duels won, was fouled once and committed 1 foul. I just don't see, and I'm usually the eye test, like you said, but the progressive line breaking defender that people think he is, I just think it's because of what we have comparatively. I don't think it is what he is. His play of the game was saving that goal with his dick by far. That was the best play of the match. Later found out it was a concussion. I didn't know you could get a concussion from getting hit in that head. But that was I think that would be up for save of the week for the USL Championship. But I just don't think that progressive, Matt Hand says in the chat, progressive carries versus progressive passing, the carry numbers aren't there either. So I still don't get it. I don't think it passes the eye test or the stat test, in my opinion.
So I'm with Hands, and I actually think it is his carrying versus his dribbling. The thing I think
he had 0 out of 1 successful dribbles. Where's the successful carries?
The one there, the thing I think is why we all are liking him and remember him is his plays are very loud.
And I'm
Like
not saying I dislike him. I'm just saying I don't get the hype with how progressive he is, because it doesn't back it up stats, and even eye test for me, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are also conflating like multiple games into one. Like we have seen him in some games have some line breaking passes. This one, I think the
Sure,
play that
that
really
first
stands
sub
out.
appearance I think was his most progressive.
Yeah, and I think we did see in this one, he had that one play where he like dribbled, he kind of made like a darting run through the midfield, and then he ended up getting on the header chance at the end of it as a center back. I think those are the things I think people remember, and it's just kind of like, oh wow, that was like really ambitious and loud and like interesting compared to every single other thing we're seeing so far. So I think we're looking for bright spots right now in a very dark picture, and that is why he's getting the love that he's getting right now.
I mean, I would also say, he only played a half, but I think out of the three starting center backs, I think Mobika and Yao were the two superior. I thought they both had very good matches. Yao had one pass that was, right into the defender at the end line. That was a shaky moment, but turned it around after that. He had a very strong performance. Mabika's first half performance, I thought, was incredible. I thought he covered so much ground. He cleared a lot of danger. I thought those two played very well. So when I hopped on the corner last night and it was, you, Kevin, Hans, everyone talking about how great Hugo and how progressive Hugo is, like, I was like, I got to look at the numbers on this one, because the eye test didn't back it up for me. And the numbers
205 eye test, that's what was going on. The other problem, I guess that's another thing, is especially with the corner, like especially like the four of us are on there, we've all been talking all game. So a lot of these opinions we've just like have
regurgitated. Yeah.
Yes, and then it's like, oh, we all believe it because all we've done is talk about it the entire time. So
no, Hands, it's not just the eye test from 116. I rewatch matches as well, so you can take that and shove it. It's on all of it. Graham even did a rewatch this morning, so it was pretty cool. He was loud and yelling. I just don't see it with Hugo, and I don't hate the player. I think he's good. But I just think that the fan perception of him is he's prime Maldini out there, and it's not it for me.
Well, I think it's less Maldini. It's not. I don't think we're like he's defending amazing. It's more like, I don't know, insert your favorite passing center back. I think, or like progressive center back. But
yeah, but even that,
I think a lot of it comes from the fact that we're looking for bright spots in a very dark season.
Sure. Fair enough. Not many bright spots in the second half for me. I know we had a ton of shots, but I believe just one on target in that second half. As I believe it was 15 shots for the game and 3 on target total, and 2 came in the first half. Just kind of a lifeless quarry. Whereas I think we had the better chances to score in the first half. I think Loudon had much better chances to score in the second half. John Celio says in the chat, clicked the wrong comment there, but he said if Loudon had 2 competent strikers, we definitely lose that one. And I think they just, Koke did make some fine saves as well, but they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net any better than we could.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting change. I thought our press was really good in the first half. I thought their press was really good in the second half. It was like the first half, they were just kind of sitting off us. And then the second half, they like turned up the temperature. And I think we didn't deal with that very well. What else here? I also, like, again, it seemed, I mentioned this in the beginning, that I thought our midfield, and especially Corcoran, was very involved in the first half. I thought in the second half, I wish you could look at touches by player first half or second half. Because I think like him and Ibarra just like, were not nearly on the ball as much as we saw them in the first half, which didn't. I think
it was wild to look at. Amos actually led the team in passes into the final third, and he was kind of on that island out at right wing back. It was just like nothing could link up. Nothing worked together in this one.
Yeah, the only thing that was working was like us going long to JJ and him just like being like, screw it, I'm gonna be it's me versus 3 guys, and I'm just gonna try my best here. Yeah, I actually think one performance here, and we'll probably talk more about him, was Dwayne Atkinson, his debut. And I think his debut is actually very like indicative of how the second half went. He came in the 60th minute, had like 2 like really fun, really interesting plays, and then I don't know that he touched the ball ever again for like the remaining 20 plus minutes.
It was Hugo that had the save with his dick, not Atkinson. You said indicative. But substitutes for this one, we should probably talk about as well for this one. Haraval came in for Hugo at halftime. I have to imagine we had a longer break now, so would hope to see Hugo back out there starting at center back, but would have to imagine if he can't go, it would be probably be Haribo at right center back. We saw Atkinson make his debut in the 60th minute. He came on along with Quizera. I think the two of them linked up pretty well on one of those plays as well. Clay Holstad thrilled to come in and play 14 minutes at right wing back as he subbed on in the 76th. And then we see Chico come in the 82nd, and he was falling all over the place. So it was a very interesting performance from Chico. But you mentioned it, so let's get busy. Let's talk Atkinson. I think he provided a real spark and a real pace that we haven't seen in this team. He had in 31 minutes played, he completed 5 of 6 passes, created a chance, blocked a shot, had a shot blocked, 13 touches, 1 touch in the opposition box, 1 out of 2 successful dribbles. And then he stuck it in there. 2 out of 3 duels won, was fouled once, and I thought it was a pretty gritty performance from him. But like you said, outside those 2 or 3 big moments, we kind of failed to get the ball back to him. And I wonder, because we play so wide with the wingers and try to lump it in, where it was Quizera and him overlapping, and we saw a lot of Atkinson kind of cut inside. He's not going to win aerial service in the box by any stretch of the means. So I think he's got to be the one out wide, and I would rather see Quizera fighting for a ball than him. But I did like what I saw, and I know very early I could see him very easily starting versus Birmingham in this next match. They got absolutely spanked by Hartford. So with them coming up in the cup, I think it would be a great, opportunity for him. And like what I saw early on, though.
Yeah, I thought the way that we were set up in terms of those wingers, because we kind of played with almost like a half winger there. It was like JJ, and then Noah was kind of hanging out off him. And then when Atkinson came in, it was kind of the same thing where he was just kind of out there. And then you're hoping that the wingbacks can get involved, but then Maxi was kind of playing as a number 10, kind of, and he kept shifting in around that area. I thought it was a very odd formation that didn't help any of those 3 players on the night. And I think I wouldn't be shocked if between Maxi, Noah, and Busy, if they had some of the least, I know JJ also didn't have a lot of touches, but they were just not involved as much as they normally are.
Sure. Martin says in the chat, Busy tried going through the center. I think that was, Quizera kind of being at his comfortable and playing out wide. And I think Busy's an intelligent player who realized the space that was vacated would be in the middle. I just think in this league, that's going to be a tough area for him to receive any kind of service.
No, yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how we use him. And it's just the thing that's tough. It's yet another puzzle piece that I don't know how exactly he fits in, because I don't know if we know how it all fits together at this point.
He also
for
the Jamaican national team, he also primarily plays central mid. So
yeah, and it does look like he has some the skill set to play.
He can play out wide for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried that we're bringing someone in to a team that's just we have no idea. At least at this point,
we have no identity.
We have no identity. We have no idea how we really want to play. We're switching the formation constantly. We're switching the starting 11 constantly. There's just no continuity here, which could be a good thing if you're a new player coming in, because it's you can make whatever, you can make this your own. But I think it's putting a lot of pressure on him to come in and try to be almost the savior when, I think just the thing I keep saying is people keep singling out certain people. And at this point, I'm I don't know how you can single out a single player in this system, because it's all just so broken at this point, especially on the attacking end.
Right. Han says we need 4-3-3, Busy on the right. I think any back 4 formation will work. 4-3-3, 4-4-2. We just need to get away from this back 5, because we just don't have the personnel to do it. It's making us play arguably our best player out of position, and it's just causing ripple effect nightmares up and down the pitch.
Well, so I was really thinking about this because I know one of the complaints we've heard a lot this season is that we're going sideways and backwards a lot. And I think what's happening is actually with the back 3, it's causing us to they all stay back there, and then they're the only ones open every time because we don't have that extra player in the attacking or middle third. So they're the only option, and the other team's letting us have that. They're yeah, cool, keep going backwards. So you want to talk about
Ibarra right now.
Listen, there's a funny moment where Ibarra had 3 clearances in a row that went backwards in the box. I don't have much to say about it. I thought he was fine. He was fine that night. I have a bigger issue with the persistence of these 3 center backs when we need like the issue with this team couldn't be more clear at this point. Like we need more going forward. We'll get to more about like how we're just not scoring goals, but like at this point, like play one center back and play just a billion forwards because like we're not having any threat where there's no danger up front, and we're playing this like ultra conservative style that just like is not manufacturing chances. It's not doing all the things that you would hope would happen in this possession-based style.
William brings up an interesting question in the chat. I wonder which I witnessed RIFC's play. Some players need more cardio workouts if you want to run fast here. Last year, they done it very well for about 3/4 of the group. I don't see it as a conditioning issue with this team. I just see it as the formational clusterfuck that we're in, and the rotational carousel of players being played outside of position, and the constant changing formation, shape, tactics, seemingly message being deployed.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I noticed was happening a lot on the rewatch was so when you're playing with like this possession-based style, it's almost like in basketball when you go like matchup hunting. You're trying to get that like one, like if you're a Celtics fan, they're trying to get Jason Tatum switched on to like a small guard or something like that so that he can go to work. So what you're trying to do is get a matchup that works really well for you, and usually that's numerically in soccer. So you want like you to have 4 players versus them 3. It is almost always the opposite for us. Like it's almost always that we're passing into an area where we might have 2 people and they have 4. And it's just like, of course, we're not getting any chances. Of course, we're not doing anything because it's very easy for the other team to stop us when we have it out because we have an extra person or 2 on the defensive there that's just standing there. They're not like actually involved in the play. I think, again, that's why people get excited about because he's actually running up the wing and doing stuff. And then we just aren't switching the ball at all. So
I think Andrew and Timmy did a great job in one of the double pivot episodes about like freezing play and showing how nobody moves when another player has the ball. They don't create that line, those open gaps in passing. And like Andrew actually just chimed in the chat, for a team full of midfielders, we somehow have no midfield because I think it's just due to how they're being deployed, where they're being deployed, and square pegs, round holes.
Yeah, I know you're going to hate this, but there's this Arsenal podcast I was listening to, and Arsenal have an issue that I think is why this has been so traumatizing.
This episode of Tide Talk is brought to you by Ryan getting kicked off the stream again. Got it, Ryan.
So Arsenal have this issue that I think is very traumatizing to me, that it's called the horseshoe of death, where they just kind of going around the 18, going around the 18, going around the 18, and they don't nothing happens from it. And they were talking about it on the episode, and the guy was saying like basically the reason why the ball goes backwards and sideways more often is because if a player looks up and they don't see any movement, they don't see anyone trying to get open, they're not going to go there. They're just going to go back and keep it ticking and keep it conservative. So I think that happens a lot with us is like, Corcoran or Ibarra or someone gets on the ball, they look up and everyone's just standing still. And there's just a red shirt just standing next to them. And it's like, of course, I'm not going to go forward when, Haraval or Mabika or Yao is just standing there. They're wide open. That's the easier play. We'll keep the ball. We'll go again.
You can see people kind of chiming in with the Euro snob equivalents of their teams in the chat. You forget that Timmy and I suffered through Harry Winks in the midfield at Spurs. So
I don't like to bring up your trauma on this show, but yeah, I mean, Man City. It's all.
Everyone has it. It's the whole modern game of playing out the back and trying to suck the opposing team in and create chances. But when you don't have the midfielders deployed on the pitch to create those chances, that strategy is shit, and we've seen it all season long.
Yeah, I mean, the only way we really got any danger last night was the old hoof it long and, fuck it, JJ's up there somewhere, which, worked in a way. Like, that was by far our best chances. I thought the one thing I noticed on the rewatch was, prepare yourself for some Maxi glazing, everybody. But one thing Maxi did really well last year when he scored some goals for Detroit, and we've seen it ourselves here. He scored a few goals this way. He did against the Rebs, is these cutbacks to him on the edge of the 18. We had like 3 chances where he was just wide open staying there calling for the ball. One was with Kuzera, one was with JJ, and they just never even looked for him there. And it's like, I think there's some like little bits of our style that it's like, wait, we need to like understand how each other play, which also can be a symptom of us chopping and changing and never having any consistency. So no one knows how to play with each other. No one knows where to be looking for people because, last week we played a back 4 where the players are usually here. This week we're playing a back 5, which they're all up here. So it's just like they don't know where to look for each other. And then it's causing that extra like half second of thinking, which is like all the difference in the world at like the professional level.
No, that's fair. And I saw a lot of Maxi hate and doubt last night. And I don't think as again, like kind of going back to my point where I don't think Hugo is as good as people thought he was last night. I don't think Maxi was as bad as people thought he was last night. He played 82 minutes. He completed 31 of 36 passes at 86%. He had a shot blocked. He had 47 total touches, 1 out of 3 successful dribbles, 4 passes into the final third. That was tied for second on the team. 1 out of 2 accurate long balls. He won his only tackle in defense. He had 2 clearances, 4 defensive actions, 3 recoveries, 2 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1, and just 1 foul. I thought Maxi was fine in this one. I just thought nobody, like all this backwards passing, he didn't get the ball. Like it should have been more touches, and we just can't get maybe our most progressive creative player the ball at his feet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing he was trying to do last night, which I thought was interesting, is he kept switching sides, and he was trying. You could see he was almost like trying to create that kind of numerical advantage. Sometimes I was talking about, and he was kind of pointing and directing people to go, and it just wasn't. It wasn't happening. So this was funny. We had a fun moment on the Kaha corner where. So I keep saying, like, what do people want to see from Maxi? Because I think he has a lot of these skills to be creative, but it's not his like. He's more of a kind of number 8 like. Just core midfielder,
box to
box midfielder. So we started talking, and I was like, "Shit, is this my fault? Like, is the blog and the we talked about him when he signed? Like, did I fuck this up?" So I went back and reread my article. I did not overpromise. I just said when he shoots, he scores a lot. He has a very high conversion rate, but I wasn't promising a billion goals. So yeah, I think a lot of it with him is just pure expectations. Like he's the big name signing, and I think people really thought he was just like, a lot of goals, a lot of creativity coming in. Which he does offer that, but it's more of his all-around game that makes him the player he is. So I just struggle with like, what is the line for we say Maxi had a good game besides him scoring a goal? I don't think he had a great game last night, but again, he's that 5 out of 10 that I think absolutely everyone was, and I think literally that's reflected in Timmy's ratings there. So
right. I think this season people wanted 10 and 5 in the league, and we've got 3 and 1 right now. That's where he was at last year, and that got him on.
We scored 15 goals in the team, so I don't.
Right.
I'll take 1 from anybody.
Yeah, I think that's where it comes from. You saw that first team all league. You saw those numbers and thought like, oh, we're bringing in someone. Noah was the golden playmaker with just 3 more assists in the league, right? So you're bringing in someone who can score double-digit goals and kind of be at the upper echelon as for chance creators in the league. Based on the previous year's numbers, and it just hasn't been the case. And I think a lot of that goes back to the midfield. And I know I sound like a broken record in saying that, but on a game where Amos Shapiro-Thompson was starting at right back, Clay should have been starting in the fucking midfield. And I think that is just, I don't know how to answer that one. I don't know how to discuss that one. There's only one person that one's on, that's Kano.
And I have another one too, actually.
It's the whole what we've been talking about. Play your best 11 players. And we could have done that last night for the most part, but we leave Clay on the bench and we see just a lot of redundancy.
Well, and to your point, if you go to my hands' comment at 901, the thing that this like perplexes me with Kano mentioned, so Matt Hand said Kano mentioned post game that we couldn't get the ball from our back line to the midfield.
Right. That's what I mentioned earlier too. It's
super confusing because who has the ability to change that via personnel in the middle of the game?
Fair.
It's Kano. Like his subs didn't address. If he identified this issue through the game, his subs didn't change this at all. I actually think it made it worse once Chico came on. Like that was a very we're going for it move, but that didn't fix any of the problem. And I think it allowed Loudon to just pour on more and more. Like that last 15 minutes, like we are pretty lucky we got away with this one 0-0 because they were just pouring on the pressure and we had absolutely nothing.
And that goes back to, when you brought Amos off and you put Clay on at right back, like bring off Ibarra, bring off Corcoran, put Clay in there in the middle, leave Amos on. Amos can go 90. Amos can give you 90, especially playing at right wing back. There was nothing out there that made me think he was overly fatigued. He wasn't booked. He wasn't on a card. Like, this substitution, this starting 11 mixture that Kano's been using just does not work.
Yeah. I mean, but again, it's been the same all season. And I did say last episode, like, I don't agree with the way he's setting people up, but we keep saying like we need change. And it's like, well, he is trying things. I don't think they're working at all. And also they're not the decisions that I would make. So
I think you said it 2 episodes ago. You were like, where he changed a couple things. It was like, oh, like there were 2 good, but then there was also 2 bad that like you disagreed with. And like, that whole juxtaposition and balance just is affecting this team in so many different ways.
It's just, I think this is like, I think I also said this too, but it's just like, we're getting to the point where I'm like, fucking literally just make like a blind poll in the locker room and say, who are our best 11 players? And just like put that fucking lineup out there. Cause I don't think for a single time we put our 11 most talented individuals on the pitch and let them play 60 minutes to at least try. Like I'd have to look back at all the 11s at this point, but again, some of that's through availability. Like JJ was obviously out for a while. He's clearly in that best 11, but yeah, we just have not yet put a team on the field that it's like, it's just like, oh, this makes sense. That's 11 names that totally make sense at this point.
Right. There's been at least 2 or 3 question marks with every starting 11 that have gone out.
Yeah. And I always say, like, we don't know what's going on at practice. We don't know certain levels of injury. Like, there's all sorts of stuff we don't know. But at this point in the season, it's just has happened every single match. So it's like, either I'm insane, which is probably true, but like I feel like it's just over complicating it to a level of like, why? And like, it's not working. Like if it was some brilliant mastermind thing and it was working, it's like, fuck it. Cool. Rock on. It's not working at all. We are dreadful. We are absolutely dreadful. We'll get to it. There are slides. But yeah, it's just so brutal out there.
All right. Final stats, 55% for Loudon. We outshot them 13-11. 3 shots on target for Rhode Island, just 1 for Loudon. 0 big chances for each team. 474 passes at 85% for Loudon, 367 at 83 for Rhode Island. We committed 9 fouls. They committed 12. 5 corners for RIFC. Still no chicken, and 2 corners for Loudon. Just a very, I think, boring watch. If you were a neutral, like, we had a friend there last night. It was first USL game, and my kind of talking with him was, I really think that within 10 years this league will surpass the MLS with promotion relegation. It's the more up and coming league. But if you were to watch this one as a neutral, you would have been like, these guys suck. Like this isn't it. This isn't it. William Lamb, also a neutral, like he witnessed a boring 0-0 draw, flying coast to coast to watch this bullshit from RIFC.
It just sucks too, because like last night was probably the game of the season that's going to have the most like non-sickos. Like it's folklore night. People were there for the Taylor Swift stuff and the fireworks, and like we were waiting outside the liquor store for the bus to go to the game, and some random guy was like, "Oh, you're all decked out," and he was like, "I'm going to my first soccer game ever tonight. I'm really excited." And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, poor guy. Like he saw an absolute dreadful one.
I also saw on Discord, like everyone has their link, Spotify and all that. You put in a lot of prep for Taylor Swift night, maybe more prep than you do for these slides that you do. I think it was 36 or 39 tracks this week for Taylor Swift from you, Mr. Hilly. So yeah, nice job. I will say, probably the best firework display I've seen in recent memory. There were a lot of cool sideways shooting shit going on there, like some different things. I think there was it was a very good fireworks show. But I also think, given all of the Taylor Swift hoopla, shticks, and shenanigans, it was the lowest attended firework night of the 3.
That's actually crazy.
Not based on what they said, because I know they gave a 8,500 number, which was total bullshit. I think once they announced it, we looked at sections in glass half full, half empty, or whatever you want to call it. So many were half full or half empty. There was one that was basically totally fully empty. But I think that just kind of looking around the crowd, looking around during fireworks, this was the lowest attended of the 3 as far as people you could see.
Yeah. Well, first off, hats off to whoever we're using for these fireworks. They are putting on a hell of a run so far. I mean, I think so far all of the fireworks displays have been awesome. As you said, just really shooting shit in there. I
got $10 for Jason for that one.
Yeah, I think it is getting weird, the attendance thing, because there's an audible laugh every time they announce it, and I'm like, this is getting very awkward. Because I do have a theory that like a lot of people are just on the concourse because it is like a very nice stadium to just watch from there. You have to like get up and move a ton. So I do think we are missing a lot of that, but it is tough. But yeah, I really thought Taylor Swift night would bring in a lot more people. Maybe it's just like that time of the summer where people are away more. But sorry,
was it once people found out
folklore night? I'm very sorry.
Once people found out the jerseys were gone before the game, they just decided not to show up.
Are we gonna get to that?
All right, so let's do it. It's been 406 minutes since RIFC have scored a goal in open play at home, which pales in comparison to the merch situation with this club that you still cannot order a jersey online. You have a night with giveaways and not giveaways, but like exclusive merch and all this shit. They stock 100 of each for their 8,500 people that attended the match. This merch team is non-existent. I won't call them awful. I would just say non-existent because I think the 2 people or so that do it absolutely try their ass off. But the club needs to invest in this because it's been stated on many different people, many different social media platforms, the Defiant 1636 Discord, on this podcast, everywhere you turn that talks about RIFC, the phrase, we are trying to actively give them money and they do not want to accept it because of the incompetence that's being showed, is absolutely incredible. Like the online store, John says, I know he's in Thailand, absolutely sucks. You can't get anything on there. You know, the one thing we're doing right as a club right now are the pretzels. The pretzels are still killing it, right? People are still loving it. But like Sarah says, this makes me so fucking mad. There is just I clicked the wrong comment. There's just so much laughableness about this. And you brought in a guy like David Pert, the minor league manager extraordinaire, who was supposed to come in and make this thing really, really good. But you can't even fix merch to a rabid fan base who wants to buy everything you put out. We had to bitch and complain for months about not getting a new jersey before the Wave kit came out. Defiance put out their kit that you're wearing now ahead of that because they knew how pissed the fans were about not having a kit. And it just doesn't get any better. I know you guys all know the story. We went to the kit launch, the Wave kit launch. I ordered a custom one for myself, a custom one for Zach, and I filled out the 2 cards. And as soon as I filled them out, I put in our chat, I was like, something's going to go wrong with this. There's no way they get both of these right. Damn, do I hate when I'm right. Go on Monday morning to pick up both kits. Mine's done. Mine's fine. Take Zach's out of his bag, see his eyes sink to the bottom of his face because his didn't have a letter or a number on it. They luckily and nicely were able to rectify that pretty quick. He got it the day of the Detroit City game, but like, you knew it was coming. You knew that 2 was too many to ask for in getting that right. And I know there's a letter shortage going on now, and people still haven't gotten that custom kit, which you dubbed it as you could get a free custom kit. That whole night, that whole process, there should have just been tables everywhere. You filled out your cards, got it in and out instead of waited an hour and a half line that didn't move. But this merchandise and taking money from the fans that want to give you money to, you know, wear your logo and rep your team in the state is just absolutely asinine right now with what's going on. It makes 0 sense at all.
Yeah, and I think the thing that a lot of that is very well said. And like, I think the thing that's really hard to look at too is, I think a lot of the feedback you'll hear when you talk about this is, oh, they're a new club. They're like trying to figure it out. Portland up the road, brand new team.
Oh my God.
Mid-table USL 1 team has done over $7 to $9 million in gross revenue. The thing about this and why this is important is I want this club to be around my entire life. I want this to be around. If the team cannot sustainably run itself, like the investors are not just going to sit around dumping money into a team that cannot properly sustain itself. So it's incredibly confusing. The other thing that's insane is that it seems as though there's this big disconnect between marketing and like the merchandise operations, because in just general operations, like they keep pouring gasoline on these problems too. We go to
they can't get out of their own way. That's what my wife says all the time. They just can't get out of their own way. They do nothing right about it.
So we go to the jersey reveal night, and on the jersey reveal, there was like multiple lead ups of like free drinks, free customization for the jerseys, all this stuff. We get to the event. It's a ticketed event, so they knew exactly how many people were coming, and each person got two tokens. They ran out of drinks 20 minutes in. Like you couldn't get a beer or a pina colada, all these different things they're marketing about. Fine, it's free, who cares? You then have all these people excited about the jersey customization because you hyped it up. I wouldn't even have thought about it. You ran out of letters for people. Again, a known quantity. You knew how many were coming. Then last night, we go to the thing, and I ordered a Taylor Swift scarf for my wife, and guess what? I could not do. I already gave them the money for it, and it ran out, and they had some fucking explanation about a box being missing or something like that. Also hyping up the shit out of these Taylor Swift jerseys and only ordering 100 of them. It's just, again, it's just like, it makes absolutely no sense. And from like a business perspective, it's just becoming very mind-boggling, because maybe the most like obvious hire that you can make in terms of like, we'll make the money back for whatever we're paying this person, is someone to like hone in and really own this. We can't forget either that the online store wasn't open really for the beginning of the season, and like for the opener. Like, if people wanted to get their jersey to go into the stadium, it was not open. So it's just, I hear you, and I know there's people out there that are saying, "Oh, give them more credit, give them more credit." This is a business. This is not a nonprofit. This is not a charity.
Well,
this is like
to kind of cut in really quick, I think the give them more credit is probably directed at the one or two people that are running that department, but that's not the people that we're talking about right now. We're talking about the front office staff for not backing them and not allowing them to be successful and providing them the means necessary to be successful.
Yeah, and I mean, to Martin's point, he still has an email out. It's like, thank you for your patience. We'll be in contact, and he hasn't heard back in over 10 days now. And it like,
what do you think I would have done if that was me? I'd be on Twitter every day. I'd be calling every day. Like, Martin, you gotta light the fire. I know you're a nicer guy than I, but you gotta get on them.
Yeah. To Andrew Quadra's point, the store opened June 1st, nearly a month after the stadium opener. And again, this isn't rocket science. This is not something that's hard. I work in marketing. I work in e-commerce. Like, I'm not talking about this from a place of like having no fucking clue. Like, this is not rocket science, and it's I know that people are wearing a lot of hats and trying to do their best, but it's just not good enough. And for something I want to exist for a very long time, this isn't good enough. And again, it almost feels like they're taking for granted the truly rabid fans that like are
right.
The ones who are really we were the ones who made Burn what it was last year. We're the ones who were with you from day one. And then also in the middle of last week, we get reminder season tickets are available, or you have to re-up them next week. We're not going to tell you how much they cost, and you have to make a decision within a week once we tell you. And it's just getting so frustrating for us to always be like, okay, yeah, we'll let it slide and we'll keep going. It's like, well, I want to be proud of this club. I want to be excited about it. I want to bring people to things and buy my friends stuff and know that actually will come to them. Even for Christmas, my brother-in-law bought me an RIFC beanie. It didn't come in for weeks after it was supposed to, because they ran out. It's just been a constant problem, and something that's solvable. It's something that's solvable. We're seeing other teams do it really well. We're seeing Vermont Green do it really well, USL 2 side. We have people in Portland Portland, they're selling jerseys all over the world right now.
Portland just came out with another pregame top this week. That's an absolute banger. It's so nice. It's a pregame, so it's kind of like the Acadia orange one, but it's got the trees on it. It's not a sewn on patch. It is screen printed, but it's absolutely beautiful. We have the same light purple pre-match top that it's got the logo kind of sublimated on the sleeves, but like, do something cool and local with that. You could change those up every match, and damn well this fan base would buy them up. I brought up Sarah's comment again before you come back in, Ryan. They probably gave them away to all the influencers, which I think is totally worth noting, because every influencer, housewife, unsanitary person who takes a picture of food next to their bum who comes into these games has a custom jersey on. They all get custom jerseys. We couldn't do one custom jersey night right, and you can't even order one online. You can't even go on and order the energy kit or whatever the amber one's called. You can't order the new wave kit. You can't order anything online and customize it. But we're seeing all these influencers, and I revert that back to the minor league marketing that are coming in. That at the end of the day, who gives a fuck about them? But they're coming in with their custom shirts on. The average fan, the average person who goes to every match, the average ultra can't get that.
No, and I mean, if it's someone from the club's listening to this and they are mad about what we're saying, just look at the comments. Like,
I don't care.
I'm saying, look at there are so many people in this live chat right now that are coming up with all different. Like, everyone has a story, and
I think El Presidente just hit it on the head. I think the biggest part of this is Capelli. I know a lot of youth systems that use Capelli, like premier clubs that use it, and there's always a stock shortage and all of that. If you look at what Hummel is producing for Portland Hearts of Pine, it is I think one of the best in the country in any USL league. I'd put it right up there with what Forward Madison has going on as far as their kits, their merch, and all of that. And then any club that has Charlie. I think Hummel and Charlie are the top two kit manufacturers and merch providers in the USL. I think that the Capelli has like an extra 2-year option on this deal, and damn sure they're gonna pull it so they can keep collecting on RIFC. But if they can't live up to it, it's absolute bullshit. And it's just there's so much better out there, and I'm sure this was Capelli gave RIFC the most money off the top than any other manufacturer would. And that's what it boils down to, because you see club presidents and executives walking around in their suits and Capelli sneakers at each match, which to the average fan, who cares? Who gives a fuck? But this is just a swing and a miss. Like, every kid that goes to this game would want to leave with a shirt, a hat, or a jersey, and they're not able to. So it's just such a missed opportunity. How many players do you think we could have funded from merch sales if we were actually competent?
Well, I mean, it's two things there. Like, number one, the decision on the Capelli side, like, sure, the reason you're probably dead on that they probably gave us the best deal, but that's a procurement and like a due diligence decision that they needed to make, and they did not make the correct one there of like going with a kit provider that actually could provide kits. Crazy idea. Right. And then to your point about little kids,
even like last year, like the last year there was a delay in the Amber kit. You couldn't get it right away. Like it's just continued.
But then to your point about little kids wanting to get the jersey, we've seen it with our own eyes. All the kids go down to Autograph Alley. They want to get a jersey on their way out after having one of the best moments of their life, talking to Clay Holstad or someone, and they're shutting the door on little kids. We literally watched a little kid fucking cry his eyes out because
that's true. I totally read about that.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him into the store because they were closing. The store's never open. They can't even go get one if you wanted to. And then to Nate's point, it's also expensive as fuck. But the Wave kit was more expensive than any of the Arsenal kits this year, and it was $110. $110 for the Wave kit. The Arsenal Adidas kits are like 100% higher quality and are like $100. So,
and I think the thing that sucks is the thing that also sucks too. Like, they didn't have youth sizes of the Wave kit, so like had to get Zach an adult small. So I'm dropping $220 on 2 shirts. And again, they mess up the customization, all of that, but. Would I have gotten Graham one if they hadn't kid size? Absolutely, because the price of getting 2 kids ones would have equated to what I spent on Zach's. So, like, why wouldn't I have bought another one? But again, just another missed opportunity, another failure to sell merch, connect with the fan base, and further help brand this team.
Also, I'm now realizing I haven't looked at my email a ton today, but I realized I didn't get my scarf last night. I don't think they've even reached out being like, our bad. Like, it's gonna come. They literally said, we'll let you know. Like, to
that point, right? Somebody told me during the game that you could go sign a wait list for the jerseys and they'd call you on Monday. And Kelly mentioned how she would have got one if they had it. And I said, do you want to go sign the list? And she's like, they're not calling. Like, what do you expect that fulfillment to actually be? And, like you mentioned, people in the front office might listen to this, might hear it. Read the comments in the chat on this. Read the room.
Comment section. Like, the amount of people individuals who have different stories is
great. Santiago Restrepo, who I saw last night, always good bumping into him. I tried multiple times to get my daughter the new Wave jersey. No luck. Tried calling the store. Nobody picks up. We've got Andrew Quadros. My son can't get a youth Wave kit. He wanted a youth baseball cap for months. There's nothing available. It's the same thing over and over again.
Don't worry. There's $100-something hoodie that you can buy, though.
Yeah, with a leather patch. Like, yeah. And you can buy a puffer vest in the heat of the summer. Like, it's also like rotation of products,
something crazy.
Yeah. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, etc. They can get them done either local or get them in bulk from outside vendors. And if they pre-plan this shit, then they had so many months to make sure it's all set. It's inexcusable. And while I have Irvin's comment up, I do want to remind everyone, if you're a Defiance member and you're in here, Tuesday night, 6 o'clock at the Pawtucket Library is the town hall meeting for the Defiance 1636 supporters group. So if you are a member in good standing, if you're in the Discord, there's more information on there as well. You can head to the the Pawtucket Library and kind of voice anything you want to say on how to make the supporters group better, which, I think they've done an awesome job again this season, but make sure you will be there as well. But
yeah, and one other thing I totally forgot is that they also just did this big song and dance about signing a deal with a Massachusetts-based Dick's Sporting Goods. So great.
Let's also
thanks for that, guys.
Let's also not forget the
Chick-fil-A.
The Chick-fil-A is also in North Attleboro. So
for all of Rhode Island.
But anything else on the merch front?
Should we go to my super? So
all right,
it's not getting better from here. The slides are coming.
I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to go to the Defiant 1636 Discord. We did RIFC in 3 along with good, bad, and ugly, good, better, best. It was dealer's choice for this one, what you wanted to go in. So, Ryan, I will let you prepare for your slides as I read through your takes and what you shared with us. Our good friend Leo had good cohesion resurface in progressing the ball forward. A little bit there, Leo. We saw glimpses. Better chances created from multiple players, not just JJ. And corner kicks being consistently placed in dangerous areas. Best, backline stepping in on many occasions to limit Loudon's dangerous chances. RIFC in 3. I love this one, Leo. Horseshoes and hand grenades. Question for the pod. Was our constant passing backwards to our center backs and playing out of the back more helpful by successfully pulling Loudon out of their shape and opening up passing lanes, or more harmful by leading to turnovers in dangerous areas? Ryan, you want to start with that one first? I know you talked about your Ibarra. Do you think it was more helpful or harmful with all of this backwards passing? We've seen you react to it live on ESPN Plus and be called out on the broadcast from it as well.
So, I feel like Ibarra's a little singled out. It was very funny. He happened to have 3 clearances in a row that all went backwards somehow. They were not his fault. It was just like weird bounces. But I think in the first half it was more helpful. I think we did a better job sucking them in and then going along to JJ. And we saw JJ get a couple chances that way. Second half, we were going backwards and they were completely smothering us. And I think if I was using the field tilt metric that I used last year more, I wouldn't be shocked if the ball was in our half a significantly larger amount in this one. So I think we got burned. I think they adjusted something in their press second half, and they absolutely killed us.
I want to go back to the merch for a sec because I read this comment. Sorry, I'm going to keep doing this. William said, Colorado Swing Switchbacks has their products on display in local sporting goods stores. God damn it, everywhere you go in the city of Portland, Maine, you can find Portland Hearts of Pine merch. If it's a pizza shop or brewery, convenience store with any kind of connection to the team, they have their fucking merch for sale. Yeah, but I think I've said that before on here, but just
it's a good reminder. It's a good idea.
Anyone's
listening.
All right, so we had. Make sure if you haven't already, you read Matt Hand's Riptide Report and Timmy's player ratings. I'm trying to navigate through the field as well in here. RFC in 3 from Taris. Jaeger Cup awaits. We've talked about it. Maybe we actually have to prioritize this competition, get a little Spursy with it. Timmy S, speaking of Spursy, and his man of the match paddle performance last night. Woof. If you thought Timmy couldn't be any more awkward, we've got pictures and videos to show you, but it's good. And this rolls right in with Timmy being awkward. Our first unbeaten streak since May. We've got a win and a draw. Bad was the Hugo concussion. That will certainly be something to monitor. Luckily, we have the longer time off. Ugly, we failed to score in 60% of our league games at Tidewater. RFC in 3, another 0-0. And Andrew Hill responded with, "Holy shit, you're good" is a terrible truth. So just absolutely great. Tyler had good last night's atmosphere. I actually thought I mentioned how the attendance I thought was much lower than announced. 116 was very low last night. The first 3 rows, which are normally fully packed out, were actually kind of empty. I think we did the best we can, make as much noise as we could. But I think the atmosphere was a little hit and miss last night. Bad blanked at home.
205 was rocking. I'll tell you that much. 205 was rocking.
Blanked at home again. Ugly, 15 goals in 20 games, and his RFC in 3 was play Dwayne Moore. B. Grims had good vibes last night. Side note, seeing Kano put in scorers at every point as starters and subs. I'm not sure if I fully agree with that one. Bad, none of them scoring. Ugly, sad kids who couldn't get unlicensed Taylor Swift shirts and scarves. That's a full redemption on that with the ugly. And Tyler responded with ugliest, the merch situation, which we've certainly spent some time on in this one. We'll head on over to Twitter where we had, let's see. FQB wrote in RFC in 3, better than before and still not great. 2 different takes there. Good, got to see busy. Better draw against the top 4 team. I think that's kind of lost in this one because it wasn't because it was a 0-0. This was a top 4 team that started out the season, absolutely on fire, missing a huge piece of their team that led them to that. But still a top 4 team that we're able to get a point from. Best, some signs of a pulse from the team. Good, we didn't lose. Bad, top paid players underperforming. And ugly, realizing Hartford is going to be the better team the rest of the season, leapfrogging us as well. Tyler Hatch, RIFC in 3, maybe something here. And goes back to the question I asked you, Ryan. Did we see a little bit more from this draw than we saw from the Detroit win? His good was back-to-back clean sheets. His bad was 406 minutes and counting without a league goal from open play. Ugly, lack of numbers committed forward in transition, and the merchandise disaster class. The merch keeps coming back up. Taris, disgruntled sports fan on Twitter, had his good. Atkinson looks good. Bad, lacking something in the second half defensively again. Ugly, Hartford is ahead of us in the standings with games in hand, and they are scoring goals. Thank you to everyone who wrote it on Twitter. Also worth noting on that point, the only team below us with the same amount of games played is Birmingham. So we could see some real leapfrogging in the table if we don't start performing and start picking up 3 points. We had Bob 101 right in on Discord just now. Good. Matt seems to be adapting well to the team, having the most communication from what I could tell when he was playing. Better, Atkinson is fast. Bad, we can't seem to interpret passing lanes and intercept them prior to passing. Thank you for writing in, Bob. On Instagram, we had Booth Hill Brewing's RIFC in 3 was okay, I guess. Good. Corcoran and Atkinson seem to fit in nicely. Atkinson's quickness and aggressive play is needed. Bad, just can't seem to get a quality shot to find the back of the net. Ugly, behind Hartford in the table with 11 days off. Hopefully they can get some rest and be ready for the toughest stretch of the season after the Jaeger Cup match. Also note, if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you go hit it at Tide Talk RI. Instagram recently changed their whole algorithm with when they let you live stream. So we need some more Instagram followers. So go hit up the gram, follow us. We for sure need that as well. And we'll end it on Facebook with Chris Peterson. It's RFC in 3. They played hard. He said Corcoran seems lost. Even my wife is yelling at Coach Smith to take him out. Jeff Teixeira, back 3, and the 2 defensive midfielders finally played well and organized. Don said, silly Max. I saw Don pregame and told him my score prediction. Thought we'd score in 2 consecutive games. At least the game was entertaining. Santiago Restrepo, good. Game was good defensively. We didn't have any lapses, and the guys didn't allow Loudon to do much on offense. Bad, we can't score unless we get penalties. But to be fair, JJ had some good chances, and he was being aggressive. Ugly, we can't continue to give up points at home. It feels like we won't make it to the playoffs, and if we do, it won't last long. We keep supporting no matter what happens. That's how it should be. And last but not least, Clayton Novak, good. Our defense was only allowed Loudon 1 shot on goal all night. Bad, our offense, but particularly on set pieces. Believe we have 0 goals on set pieces this season. Ugly, the fact that we have scored a total of 2 goals over our last 7 league matches. So the offensive woes and the merch debacle is kind of big on RAFC Nation's mind right now as the fans share their thoughts. So it's very, very tough to watch. And, I appreciate everyone who, kind of commented as well, with Nate saying more YouTube members. So we'll take that moment to say, if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't already clicked the thumbs up on this video, make sure you do that now as well. But it's time you've all been waited for. Ryan's got slides tonight. The merch talk's going to get even darker. But we got some positive sprinkles in there. So let's do it.
Alrighty, folks. So these first couple will probably go quickly, but we got another debut. So we talked about Busy already, but liked what we saw. Obviously, fleeting moment, but 5 of 6 passing, 1 chance created, 2 shots, 1 of 2 successful dribbles, and probably just the most exciting moments of the night here. So a lot more to come here. Excited to see how he grows. He's signed to this team. This isn't a loan. So excited to see how he progresses here. All right, this is the bright spot of the slides. Koke Golden Glove. So this is a very weird subplot that I didn't really realize was happening. But Koke is currently tied for fourth with 6 clean sheets so far. He's 3rd in goals conceded per game at 0.81, which is the insane way that this league does the Golden Glove metric here.
He's behind a big dick though.
He's behind Dick, and the William Lamb in the chat will tell me the Sacramento goalkeeper who's having a hell of a year as well. So Danny. So hell of a year. I mean, it would be very wild if our season continues to go this way, and through a series of hellish 0-0 draws, Koke ends up winning the Golden Glove here. Again, we've talked a ton about how awesome his season has been, so absolutely love that. All right, folks, buckle up. Another clean sheet against
Danny Vitiello, just to get back to that one.
Yep. Very, very good keeper. But yeah, so currently we are scoring 0.65 goals per game. We are worst in the league. We have not scored in 11 games. The next worst team at that is Las Vegas with 9. So the best team at keeping clean sheets in this league is whoever is playing Rhode Island FC. We have 3 open play goals in 10 home games this season. 10 of our 20 matches, we have actually we haven't generated above 1 expected goal, which it's just like we're not scoring, and also like we're not making chances. I'm just gonna start just rattling off things about this that are not on the slide. We currently have 5 wins in the league. 2 have been from PKs being the winner. 1 was a game where we buried 3 long-range shots. 1 we were up a man the entire half, and then 1 was just beating a truly bad Oakland Roots. We're currently 4 points off last place. Birmingham, as Matt mentioned, is the only team behind us that doesn't have a game in hand. Hartford, who everyone says sucks so badly and is pathetic, is ahead of us now with 2 games in hand after winning 3 in a row. Only Loudon, Detroit, and Miami have less points in their last 5 matches. We have 5 goals in the 10 league games at home, 2 PKs. Just for context, Louisville and Charleston have 23. Pittsburgh, who just doesn't try to score, has 14. And as many people have mentioned, it's been 406 minutes since our last open play goal at home. So yeah, guys, not good at all. I really don't say. I mean, we keep joking, like it's getting just very hard to talk about this because there's not like much else to say. Like this is the problem. Like, and I also think it's freaking hilarious how much we talk about the defense sometimes because it's like they're not the problem. Defense is doing great. It's just we cannot create or score anything. And boy, oh boy, all the opportunities to convert some new fans into soccer fans is just not happening in the slightest.
I also think it's extremely comical. Like we actually won a game last time, and our numbers were good, but like we had like 30 people in here all night, like simultaneously. And like when we lose or when we play a 0-0 draw, like you sickos want to hear us bitch about it and talk about it. So again, appreciate you all that make Tide Talk what it is.
So Matt, we pivoting slightly to just keep the vibes high. We do have a little game, guys. We do have a game. So we got 10 games to go, everybody. So we're down to the final third of the season. And this is a game that we played. Shout out to Providence Brewing. We played at a live show there last year of the playoff prophecy. So we are going to try to predict the rest of the way here. And then see, do we think that'll be enough for an LFC to make it through? All right. So
no.
Yeah.
No.
All right, first
I don't want to.
After the Birmingham Jaeger Cup game, we head down to Hartford. Hartford's currently not in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. They're in I think 6th place or something, or 7th now. But they are currently on a hot streak. Loss, draw, win, win, win. We are loss, draw, loss, win, draw. Matt, what do you got in this one?
I think we're going to go out there and put in a spirited performance. I think it's going to be a draw. See, like that optimism?
It was good. I'm going to go loss, unfortunately. All right. The next 2, no one laugh. But the first one is we start this home stretch with a Charleston Battery coming in, who are currently in 2nd place. They just got mopped up by Louisville, but they are draw, win, 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 loss. What do you got here?
No words.
Loss. It's 0.
If I speak, I'm in trouble.
I'm going to also go 0 there. And if you didn't think that was fun, folks, we then bring in the league leader, Louisville City, who, as you can see, just a lot of green on this slide. Win, win, draw, win, win, including a 4-1 beating of Charleston at home last night. I am also going loss. Next up, we end this homestand with our friends from Indy 11. We'll have to get bets back on to just see what's going on. They're in 9th place. Win, win, loss, loss, loss at this point.
We're going to win that one.
I will say win as well. I don't feel good. What I can guarantee is it's going to be an absolutely god-awful event.
It's going to be a terrible watch.
Just a horrible match. All right, next up, we got Miami, who is in 10th place right now. Draw, loss, draw, loss.
I've got a draw.
Usually we would do a little more crowd participation here, but we're going long already anyway. You got a draw?
I've got a boring 0-0, just like we just saw.
That sounds okay. I'm with you on the draw there. We then stay on the road, and we are going to El Paso Locomotive, who are in the very wacky Western Conference. They're in 4th place. Win, loss, win, draw. And I think that was a 0 from you.
I think we lose that.
You know, I'll go draw. Why not? And then next up, we go away to maybe the only team that I feel is just not good. Oh no, we are home. Sorry, to Las Vegas. We welcome them. Loss, draw. There, they are 12th place in the Western Conference. They did just hire a new coach from the Charleston Battery, but we'll have to see there. What do you got?
I think we keep the loss in Las Vegas and give them a loss, and we win that one.
Nicely done.
I know the spelling's not the same.
You lost me there for a second, but wow, guys, this is fun. I am currently on a unbeaten streak of 4 games. That's why I don't feel good about this already. But then we stay at home and we host Tampa Bay, who are currently 12th place in the Eastern Conference. So 2 games against the bottom of both conferences as they stand at home.
I think this could be a you need to win it to get in. And I'd like to think we get it done being at home in this one. So I'm going to be overly optimistic and pick a win.
I'm going to go draw here. I think we got pretty lucky with those 3 long-range bangers that we saw them. We scored at Tampa, and they are playing a lot better. Obviously these games are further and further away, so form will vary. But yeah, I think it could be a draw there. So rounding it out, we do end the season with 2 matches on the road somehow, even though we started the season with 7 on the road. But we then go down to North Carolina. They're in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference with a loss, win in their last 5.
Yeah, I think we lose.
Yep. I also think we lose. And then we end the year with New Mexico United, who are, again, having a very strange season. They were close to top of the conference for a while. They're now in 5th place. And you'll see why. They are currently win, loss on the year.
I think we're just what the doctor ordered coming down the stretch for New Mexico, and we maybe help them get a home playoff match with another loss.
I am going to go draw there. They, when I've been doing all these the articles about the way we play, they are the only other team that is the exact same, ton of possession, can't create shit. So I think it's going to be one of the. It's just going to be a really sad one to end on. I'm just very boring. All right. So thanks for keeping the numbers low here so I can do the math in my head. So I got us ending the season with 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points from our last 10. That sounds right about right. And you got 4, 5, you got 11 from our last 10. So
you got them finishing at 31. I got us at 32 points on the season.
Do you think that makes the playoffs?
Well, so the thing is, you look at Indy, Miami, and Tampa below us, both with games in hand. I'm sorry, all 3 with games in hand, which I think is tricky. I think we finish 9th and miss out.
I'm right there with you. It's absolutely wild. Again, we talked about this, I think, last episode or 2 episodes ago. What we were talking about and who we thought we were going to competing against. If going into the season, we looked at those Louisville Charleston games at home towards the end of the season, being like, oh man, that's the player shield deciding stuff. And now we're like,
right,
shit, that Tampa game is going to be massive for us making the playoff line. So
3 years later, we could have been like, oh shit, this is relegation fodder.
Yeah. So unfortunately, with the way we're playing, I just don't see a route to us making the playoffs on this kind of 1 point per match that we'll end up on.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a limp to the finish line, my friend.
But Matt, can I interest you in something?
Yes.
Little Jaeger? Is it Jaeger or bust at this point?
It totally is. It is. Kano always wins things in his second year. That's what I heard. At least you won't convince me otherwise. But I think you said it probably 2 or 3 episodes ago, pretty eloquently. It's not like we're resting and rotating right now. To which I responded, like, not like that other team was as well that prioritized the cup. But I do think we get by Birmingham.
I said Arsenal 13 times this episode. You can say Tottenham once.
That's okay. I do think we get by Birmingham in this one in the next round, and we're able to advance. So we're able to kind of see what the draw looks like from there. But I do like our shots against them. They struggled to score. They just got embarrassed by Hartford. Not that we do much better in that department, but I like our chances in that one, being home as well. I think the whole, I know you're not a fan of it, but I think the whole closing the upper section and filling the lower bowl will make this one seem a little bit more crowded than it is, and they'll still probably announce that there were 12,000 people inside of it. But I do like our chances, and I think, like Timmy says in the chat, there is a very realistic path to winning this competition, and if it means not starting Clay at right back and starting him on the bench for a league match to put him in midfield in this one, I'd totally be all for it. But there is a path there. And I think, like Timmy also said, a lot of the big dogs got knocked out in this competition. So why not at least put your best foot forward in this one? Let's take a shot, if you will, and try to win this competition. I think it's our only shot at any kind of silverware, obviously. But I think I was calling for it a month and a half to 2 months ago, saying we should prioritize this one.
Yeah, I mean, we're king. I mean, it's very funny if you look at our the data. If you go to FOTMob, like if you go to the team part, it auto opts to the Jägermeister data, and you're like, holy shit, Loudon FC is the best team who's ever existed. Like, we got goals galore. We got like people with like 8.0 ratings. And it's just because they kicked the shit out of like Westchester and Portland. But
hey, still one of the best Palomas, maybe the best Paloma I ever had in my life.
That was a really fun
Westchester.
Day, as everyone
that was a good away there.
But yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I hate the idea of prioritizing this kind of competition. It kind of feels a little Carabao Cuppy to me. But hey, it's our shot, and I'll be in the 116 for this one for the Birmingham game. So absolutely can't wait.
I'd much rather have a Jaeger than a Carabao. So we'll take it with that. Carabao's a shitty energy drink, so we'll go from there.
That's fair. I did take a shot of Jaeger whenever the last one we played, so totally.
Yep.
That's all I got. That's up the slides this week, folks. Another depressing affair, but maybe just maybe we'll have a fun one sometime.
That's it. But definitely in our longer run of show on tonight. So thank you all for staying with us. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and you go hit that like button on this video. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got to boost the Instagram. We have to up the Instagram so we can go live during and after matches like we used to.
What are the action items from this episode? It's like the YouTube video, subscribe to the YouTube, like us on Instagram as well. Go read Matt and Timmy's blog. That's on there.
Yeah, that's it.
Guys, short 5 things. If you could just do them all.
Don't dwell on shitty soccer and wicked, not good merch situations. It'll just make you more upset. But thank you to everyone who stayed with us. Any final thoughts you want to share?
Yes, I do have one thing to plug, which if I lost all my stuff here. Yes, so in lieu of, since we don't have a game next week, we have our friends, Andrew and Timmy will be going live, doing a live double pivot.
Can't wait.
I will be camped in the comment section for that one, and I can absolutely not wait for that. They will be sending out a survey this week. We'll put it out on our socials. It'll be in the Defiance Discord. It's I won't let you know what the survey is, but they are going to incorporate some data into the episode. So they really want the fan opinion. So Tide Talk is all about by the fans for the fans. So make sure you make your voice heard. Yes, definitely tune in live 8:30 next Sunday. I absolutely cannot wait to hear Timmy say the word glaze 700 times and me just put the vomit emoji in the chat. So
get your espresso ready. That's all we can say. You might need to pick me up after that one for sure. We've also got some people saying great meeting you, William. We're going to see William out there as well. Always good talking with him. So good stuff coming with that. Also, another last plug for the Defiance 1636 membership meeting on Tuesday, 6 o'clock at the Pawtucket Library. Be there, share your thoughts, help make the best supporters group in the league even better, and go from there. But
yeah, one thing to make sure we clarify, it is going to be feedback about the supporters group. If you do have feedback about the team and stuff going on, they do send out a post-match survey. Make your voice heard there, but this will be specific about Defiance. So if you do have merchandise complaints or things like that,
direct those to Patrick McKenna. He's got an extensive document going.
Yes, yeah, yes. We'll see how that goes.
Also worth knowing with Presidente in the chat, be at High Motor for the tailgate on the 10th ahead of the Birmingham game. I know he's got some plans on kind of marching from High Motor and going from there, as we'll basically be across the street anyway. So some cool stuff planned for the pre-match of the Jaeger game. Hopefully they have plenty of Jaeger in stock at High Motor for that one.
Yes, and that is the 20th, not the 10th.
Yeah, 20th. Sorry. That'll wrap things up for this one. Remember, Tide Talk is more than just a podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for daily social media content. Click that link in this episode's description to follow all of our accounts, especially the Instagram. We need it. But I've been your host, Matt, for my good friend Ryan. Thanks again for joining. We'll see you next time. And as always, up the tide.
Up the tide.